Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit. We've been reading from Adi Lila, chapter 12, and we shall continue from verse 72 onwards. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhate girim yat kripatam ham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. की पंडिता की तपस्वी की वा गृही यति चैतन्य विमुख ये तार ए गति. Be he a learned scholar, a great ascetic, a successful householder, or a famous sannyasi, one who is against the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is destined to suffer the punishment meted out by Yamaraj. Verse number 73. Ye Laila Shri Achyutanandera Mata Sai Acharyera Gana Maha Bhagavata. The descendants of Advaita Acharya who accepted the path of Sri Achyutananda were all great devotees. Purport in this connection, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his Amrit Pravaha Bhashya gives this short note. Sri Advaita Acharya is one of the important trunks of the Bhakti Kalpataru or desired tree of the devotional service. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a gardener poured water on the root of the Bhakti tree and thus nourished all its trunks and branches. But nevertheless, under the spell of Maya, the most unfortunate condition of a living entity, some of the branches, not accepting the gardener who poured water on them, considered the trunk the only cause of the great Bhakti Kalpataru. In other words, the branches or descendants of Advaita Acharya, who considered Advaita Acharya the original cause of the devotional creeper and who thus neglected or disobeyed the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, deprived themselves of the effect of being watered and thus dried up and died. It is further to be understood that not only the misguided descendants of Advaita Acharya, but anyone who has no connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even if he is independently a great sannyasi, learned scholar or ascetic, is like a dead branch of a tree. The analysis of Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur supporting the statements of Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami depicts the position of the present so-called Hindu religion, which being predominantly conducted by the Mayavad philosophy has become a hodgepodge institution of various concocted ideas. Mayavadis generally greatly fear the Krishna consciousness movement and accuse it of spoiling the Hindu religion because it accepts people from all parts of the world and all religious sects and scientifically engages them in the Daiva Varnashram dharmas, as we have explained several times. However, we find no such word as Hindu in the Vedic literature. The word most probably came from Afghanistan, a predominantly Muslim country, and originally referred to a pass in Afghanistan known as Hindu Kush, which is still a part of the trade route between India and various Muslim countries. In the actual Vedic system of religion, it's called Varnashram Dharma as confirmed in the Vishnu Puran. Varnashramachara vata purushena paraha puman Vishnur aradhyate pantha nanyat tat dosha karanam. This is from Vishnu Puran 3.8.9. The Vedic literature recommends that a human being follow the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Accepting the process of Varnashram Dharma will make a person's life successful because this will connect him with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the goal of human life. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is meant for all the humanity. Although human society has different sections or subdivisions, all human beings belong to one species, and therefore we accept that they all have the ability to understand their constitutional position in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms Jivera Swarupahaya Krishnera Nityadasa. Every living entity is an eternal part, an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Every living entity who attains the human form of life can understand the importance of his position and thus become eligible to become a devotee of Lord Krishna. We take it for granted, therefore, that all humanity should be educated in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, in all parts of the world, in every country where we preach the Sankirtan movement, We find that people very easily accept the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without hesitation. The visible effect of this chanting is that the members of the Hare Krishna movement, regardless of their backgrounds, all give up the four principles of sinful life and come to an elevated standard of devotion. All the posing as great scholars, ascetics, householders and swamis, the so-called followers of the Hindu religion, are all useless, dried up branches of the Vedic religion. They are impotent. They cannot do anything to spread the Vedic culture for the benefit of the human society. The essence of the Vedic culture is the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya instructed, Yare dekha tare kaha Krishnera upadesha amara ajnaya amara agya guru hana tar ei desha. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 7.1 to 8. One should simply instruct everyone he meets regarding the principles of Krishna Katha as expressed in Bhagavad Gita as it is and Srimad Bhagavatam. One who has no interest in the Krishna Katha or the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like dry, useless wood with no living force. The ISKCON branch, being directly watered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is becoming undoubtedly successful, whereas the disconnected branches of the so-called Hindu religion that are envious of ISKCON are drying up and dying. Verse number 74. Se acharyera kripar bhajan anayase paila se Chaitanya charan. By the mercy of Advaita Acharya, the devotees who strictly follow the path of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attain the shelter of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet without difficulty. Verse number 75. Achyutera ye mata se mata sar aryata mata saba haila charakhar. It should be concluded, therefore, that the path of Achyutanand is the essence of spiritual life. Those who did not follow this path simply scattered. Verse number 76. Se acharya gane mor koti namaskar Achyutanand praya Chaitanya jivan yanhara. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances millions of times to Achyutananda's actual followers, whose life and soul was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Verse number 77. Eta kahila acharya gosanira gana tina skandhas shakhar kahila sankshep ganana. Thus I have briefly described the three branches, Achyutanand, Krishna Mishra and Gopal, of Sri Advaita Acharya's descendants. Verse 78. Shakha upashakha tar naika ganana kichu matra kahi kari dig darshana. There are multifarious branches and sub-branches of Advaita Acharya. It is very difficult to enumerate them fully. I have simply given a glimpse of the whole trunk and its branches and sub-branches. Verse number 79. Shri Gadadhar Pandit's Shakhate Mahottam Tanra of Shakha Kichu Kari Ye Ganana. After describing the branches and sub-branches of Advaita Acharya, I now shall attempt to describe some of the descendants of Shri Gadadhar Pandit, the most important among the branches. Verse 80. Shakha Shrestha Dhruvananda Sridhara Brahmachari Bhagavat Acharya Haridas Brahmachari. The chief branches of Shri Gadadhar Pandit were Shri Dhruvanand, Sridhar Brahmachari, Haridas Brahmachari and Raghunath Bhagavat Acharya. Purport: Text 152 of the Gaura Gandesh Deepika describes Sri Dhruvananda Brahmachari as an incarnation of Lalita, and text 194 and 199 describe Sridhar Brahmachari as a gopi known as Chandra Latika. Verse 81. Anantacharya Kavidatta Mishra Nayana Ganga Mantri Mamu Thakur Kantha Bharan. The fifth branch was Anantacharya, the sixth Kavidatta, the seventh Nayan Mishra, the eighth Gangamurti, the ninth Mamu Thakur, and the 10th Kantha Bharana. Text 190, this is the purport now. Text 197 and 207 of the Gaura Ganadesh Deepika describe Kavidatta as the gopi named Kalakanti. Text 196 and 207 describe Nayana Mishra as the gopi named Nitya Manjari, and text 196 and 205 describes Ganga Mantri as the gopi named Chandrika. Mamu Thakur, whose real name was Jagannath Chakravarti, was a nephew of Sri Nilambar Chakravarti, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grandfather. In Bengal, a maternal uncle is called Mama, and in East Bengal and Orissa, Mamu. Thus, Jagannath Chakravarti was known as Mama or Mamu Thakur. Mamu Thakur's residence was in the district of Faridpur in the village known as Magdoba. After the demise of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, Mamu Thakur became the priest in charge of the temple known as Tota Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. According to the opinion of some Vaishnavas, Mamu Thakur was formerly known as Rupa Manjari. The followers of Mamu Thakur were Raghunath Goswami, Ramachandra, Radha Vallabh, Krishna Jivan, Shyam Sundar, Shantamani, Harinath, Naveen Chandra, Matilal, Dayamai, and Kunja Vihari. Kantabharan, whose original name was Sri Ananta Chatraja, was the gopi named Gopali in Krishna Lila. Verse 82. Bhugarbha Gosani ar Bhagavad Dasa ye dui asi Kaila Vrindavane vas. The 11th branch of Gadadhar Goswami was Bhugarbha Gosani, and the 12th was Bhagavad Das. Both of them went to Vrindavan and resided there for life. Purport: Bhugarbha Goswami, formerly known as Prema Manjari, was a great friend of Lokanath Goswami, who constructed a temple of Gokulnanda, one of the 7 important temples of Vrindavan, namely those of Govind, Gopinath, Madan Mohan, Radharaman, Shyam Sundar, Radha Damodar, and Gokulnand, which are authorized institutions of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Verse 83. Vaninath Brahmachari Bada Mahashaya Vallabh Chaitanya Das Krishna Premamaya. The 13th branch was Vaninath Brahmachari and the 14th was Vallabh Chaitanya Das. Both of those great personalities were always filled with love of Krishna. Purport: Sri Vaninath Brahmachari is described in the 10th chapter, verse 114 of the Adi Lila. A disciple of Vallabh Chaitanya named Nalini Mohan Goswami established a temple of Madan Gopal in Navdvip. Verse 84. Srinath Chakravarti R. Uddhav Das Jitamitra Kashtha Kata Jagannath Das. The 15th branch was Srinath Chakravarti, the 16th Uddhav, the 17th Jitamitra, and 18th Jagannath Das. Purport: Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, the Shaka Nirvana verse 13 mentions Srinath Chakravarti as a reservoir of all good qualities and expert in the service of Lord Krishna. Similarly, verse 35 mentions Uddhav Das as being greatly qualified in distributing love of Godhead to everyone. The Gaura Gandesh Deepika 202 mentions Jitamitra as the gopi named Shyama Manjari. Jitamitra wrote a book called Krishna Mayurya. Jagannath Das was a resident of Vikrampura near Dhaka. His birthplace was the village known as Kashtakata or Kathadiya. His descendants now reside in the village known as Adiyala, Kamra, Kamar, Pad, and Paikapada. He established a temple of Yasho Madhava. The worshippers in this temple are Goswamis of Adiyal. As one of the 64 Sakhis, he was formerly known as he was formerly an assistant of Chitra Devi Gopi named Tilakini. The following is a list of descendants: Rama Nirsimha, Ram Gopal, Ramchandra, Sanatan, Muktaram, Gopinath, Golok, Harimohan, Shiromani, Rakha, Laraj, Madhav, and Lakshmikanta. The Shaka Nirvana mentions that Jagannath Das preached the Hare Krishna movement in the district of the state of Tripura. Verse 85. Sri Hari Acharya Sadi Puriya Gopal Krishna Das Brahmachari Pushpa Gopal. The 19th branch was Sri Hari Acharya, the 20th Sadi Puriya Gopal, the 21st Krishna Das Brahmachari, and the 22nd Pushpa Gopal. The Gora Ganudesh Deepika 196 and 207 mention that the Hari Acharya was formerly the Gopi named Kalakshi. Sadhi Puya Gopal is celebrated in the preaching as the preacher of Sri Krishna Hare Krishna movement in Vikrampura in the East Bengal, now in Bangladesh. Krishnadas Brahmachari was formerly among the group of Sakhis known as Ashtasakhis. His name was Indulekha. Krishnadas Brahmachari lived in Vrindavan. There is no tomb in Radha Damodar temple known as Krishnadas tomb. Some say this is the tomb of Krishnadas Brahmachari. Some say this is the tomb of Krishnadas Brahmachari, and others that it is of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. In either case, we offer our respects because both of them were experts in distributing love of Krishna to the fallen and to the fallen souls of this age. The Shaka Nirvana mentioned that Pushpa Gopal was formerly known as Swarna Gramaka. So we now have reached verse number 86. Sri Harsha Raghu Mishra Pandita Lakshminath Bhangavati Chaitanya Das Sri Raghunath. The 23rd branch of Sri Harsh was Sri Harsh, the 24th Raghu Mishra, the 25th Lakshminath Pandit, the 26th Bhangavati Chaitanya Das, and the 27th Raghunath. Purport: Raghu Mishra is described in the Gora Ganudesh Deepika 195 and 201 as Karpur Manjari. Similarly, Lakshminath Pandit is described as Rason Mada, and Bhangavati Chaitanya Das is mentioned as Kali. The Shaka Nirnay states that we have lost it now. The Shaka Nirnay states that Bhangavati Chaitanya Das was always seen with eyes full of tears. He also had a branch of descendants. Their names were Mathura Prasad, Rukmani Kant, Jivan Krishna, Yogal Kishore, Ratna Krishna, Radha Madhav, Usamani, Vaikuntanath, and Lila Mohan or Lala Mohan Saha Shahar Shankhanidhi. Lala Mohan was a great merchant in the city of Dhaka. The Gora Ganudesh Deepika 104 and 200 mentions that Raghunath was formerly Varangada. Verse 87. Amogh Pandit Hasti Gopal Chaitanya Vallabh Yadu Ganguli R. Mangal Vaishnav. The 28th branch was Amogh Pandit, the 29th Hasti Gopal, the 30th Chaitanya Vallabh, the 31st Yadu Ganguli, and the 32nd Mangal Vaishnav. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Sri Mangal Vaishnav was resident of the village Teetkana in the district of Murshidabad. So we've started the purport now. His forefathers were Shaktas who worshipped the goddess Kriteshwari, and it is said that Mangal Vaishnav, formerly a staunch brahmachari, left home and later married the daughter of his disciple Prananath Adhikari in the village of Mayana Dala. The descendants of his families are known as Thakurs of Kandara, which is a village in the district of Burdwan near Katwa. Scattered descendants of Mangal Vaishnav, 36 families together, still live there. Among the celebrated disciples of Mangal Thakur are Prananath Adhikari, Purushottam Chakravarti of the village of Khandara, Dada, and Narsimha Prasad Mitra, whose family members are well known Mridanga players. Sudha Krishna Mitra and Nikunja Vihari Mitra are both especially famous with Mridanga players. In the family of Purushottam Chakravarti, there are famous persons like Kunja Vihari Chakravarti and Radha Vallabh Chakravarti who now live in the district of Birbhum. They professionally recite songs from Chaitanya Mangal. It is said when Mangal Thakur was constructing the road from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, he found a deity of Radha Vallabh while digging a lake. At that time, he was living in the locality of Kandara in the village named Ranipura. The Shalagram Shilna, personally worshipped by Mangal Thakur, still exists in the village of Kandara. A temple has been constructed there for the worship of Vrindavan Chandra. Mangal Thakur had three sons, Radhika Prasad, Gopi Raman and Shyam Kishore. The descendants of these three sons are still living. Verse 88, Chakravarti Shivananda Sada Vrajvasi Mahashakha Madhe Tenho Sudrid Vishwasi. Shivanand Chakravarti, the 33rd branch, who always lived in Vrindavan with firm conviction, is considered an important branch of Gadadhar Pandit. Purport: the Gaura Ganadesh Deepika 183 mentions that Shivanand Chakravarti was formerly Lavang Manjari, and Shakha Nirnay, written by Yadunandan Das, also names other branches of Gadadhar Pandit as follows: Madhavacharya, Gopal Das, Hridayanand, Vallabh Bhatt. The Vallabh Sampradaya or Pushti Marg Sampradaya is very famous. Madhu Pandita, his famous devotee, lived near Khadadaha in the village known as Sani Bonagram, about 2 miles east of the Khadadaha station, and constructed the temple of Gopinath in Vrindavan. Achyutanand, Chandrasekhar, Vikreshwar Pandit, Damodar, Bhagwan Acharya, Anant Acharya Varya, Krishnadas, Paramanand Bhattacharya, Bhavananda Goswami, Chaitanya Das, Lokanath Bhatt. This devotee, who lived in the village of Talakhadi in the district of Yashohara, which is Jessore now, and constructed the temple of Radha Vinod, was the spiritual master of Narottam Das Thakur and a great friend of Bhugarva Goswami, Govindacharya, Akrur Thakur, Sanketacharya, Pratapaditya, Kamalakanta Acharya, Bhavan Yadavacharya, and Naran Padihari, the resident of Jagannath Puri. Verse 89, Eta Sankshepe Kahilan Panditira Gana Aiche Ar Shakha Upshakhar Ganana. Thus I have briefly described the branches and sub-branches of Gadadhar Pandit. There are still many more, and that I have not mentioned here. Verse 90, Panditera Gunasabha Bhagvat Dhanya Prana Vallabha Sabayara Sabara Shri Krishna Chaitanyera. All the followers of Gadadhar Pandit are considered great devotees because they have Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as their life and soul. Etina Skandhera Kailun Shakhara Ganna Yan Sabha Smarane Bhava Bandha Vimochana. Simply by understanding remembering the names of all these branches and sub-branches of the three trunks I've described, which are Nityananda, Advaita and Gadadhar, one attains freedom from the entanglement of material existence. Verse 92, Yan Sabha Smarane Pai Chaitanya Charana Yan Sabha Smarane Haya Vanchita Purana. Simply by remembering the names of these Vaishnavas, one can attain the lotus feet of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, simply by remembering their holy names, one can achieve the fulfillment of all the desires. Gaura Lilamrit Sindhu Apar Agad Ke Karite Pare Tahan Avagah Sadh. The ocean of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is immeasurable and unfathomable. Who can have the courage to measure that great ocean? Verse 95, Tahara Madhurya Gandhil Labdha Hayamana Ataiv Tate Rahi Chaki Eka Ghanana. It is not possible to dip into that great ocean, but it is sweet, mellow. Its sweet mellow fragrance attracts any mind. I therefore understand on the shore of the ocean It is not possible to dip into that great ocean, but its sweet mellow fragrance attracts my mind. I therefore stand on the shore of that ocean to try to taste but a drop of it. I think I didn't read the verse 95 properly. Let's go through it again. Tahara madhure gandhe labdha hay mana atev tate rahi chaki eka kana. It is not possible to dip into that great ocean, but its sweet, mellow fragrance attracts my mind. I therefore stand on the shore of that ocean to try to taste but a drop of it. So we'll finish our reading here for today, and we'll continue from here onwards next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. And these visuals are from the offering of the lamp in the Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.